Hey, Kathy.
Good morning. Yeah, it's still morning. I had to double check.
Right, and a happy new year to you.
And you, Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
It's been lovely. We're in that in-between stage between Christmas and New Year's where nobody knows what day it is, what time it is, what's going on.
Love it.
Yeah, I heard somebody call it like the calendar's purgatory. And I was like, yeah, that's
That totally works.
that's about it. We don't know what's going and what's not.
Yeah.
But that hasn't, well, I guess it has slowed us down a little bit, you and I.
Sure.
We took a couple weeks to just hang out with our families and do the things we love to do outside of all of this. And now we are entering into a brand new year. And
Mhm.
I'm so excited for 2026. It's going to
Oh my
be
goodness.
epic.
Yes.
And I'm really excited because we are going to continue to bring Albertan women to the forefront and
Mhm.
continue this series, this X Factor series that we're doing in conjunction with Alberta Nation Directory, right
Yes.
there, albertanation.com. And we're starting the year off. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? I'm going to let you introduce our first gal for the year because you met her first. You met her first.
We are starting the year off with a firecracker. And yeah, I met Jill up in, what do they call it now? Diamond Valley, Black Diamond,
All of it.
something, all of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Anyways, we were at a meeting and she was so kind and basically hosted us. And it
Mhm.
was just from the very moment that we met her, it was like, wow, like she is a force to be reckoned with. And so
Yeah.
we're so grateful, so
So
grateful.
how did that happen, right? Because that was before we bring Jill on. Like a lot
Mm,
of people say, well, how do you guys have your meetings? How does this happen? What
mm,
what what do we do? So Jill organized that meeting and she had both you and I there. So
mhm.
she reached out to you, or what was the chain of events? Just so
It
people
was
kind of have an idea.
There was a different group, and Jill will have to tell us the name of that group. There was a different group that reached out to us and said, "Hey, would you like to come to this meeting that we're having?" And the gentleman that originally reached out to me actually was ended up being out of town during that meeting, and so he said, "I'm going to refer you to Jill. She's gonna help you
Mm.
out here and kind of take it from there." And so
Yeah,
that's how we ended up, yeah, meeting Jill and.
got it. So there's nothing complicated to this, guys. There's nothing
Mm,
complicated. You pick up the phone, Kathy, Angela, come on, we want to talk to you. That's it. That's
if
it.
there's food there, I'm in. Like,
Right?
man.
Food, coffee, no problem. No problem. So we met Jill there. She took us out for dinner first before that meeting.
Mhm.
And we had a lovely conversation with her. We got to know her a little bit. And then we went, and the room was filled, it was packed. And
Mhm.
if I recall, the original place where we were supposed to meet kicked us out when they found out the topic.
Yeah, so we just went and found somewhere else.
So we just went where else? And then after that we became fast friends with Jill, and now we are just absolutely excited to make sure that everybody else gets to be friends with her too.
Right, so I'm gonna bring her in right now. Hey, Jill.
Hello.
So did
Was
we
that
it's Diamond Valley, right? Because it was the two
Well,
places that merged into one. So what's the history there?
well, yes, the two little towns are 3 kilometers apart, and they did merge a couple of years ago, now called Diamond Valley. But interestingly enough, Canada Post doesn't recognize them, so they're still Black Diamond and Turner Valley. So,
Oh,
the feds? The
yeah,
feds.
yeah, so go figure.
That's hilarious.
leave it to Ottawa. Leave it to
Yep,
Ottawa.
yeah.
Oh, crazy. So Jill, I want to just jump right in. Um, what I'm gonna ask the question we ask everybody. What happened? What was your moment that you were like, yep, we gotta go. This is not working. What is
Um,
your story?
Probably going to our first APP meeting. That was in
Okay.
Blackie. And it was, Dr. Modry, Chris Scott, Jeff Rath, the whole original gang.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we had no idea of the history. We're from Ontario. I apologize, but our eyes have been opened. And so even if we had been taught history properly in school, we still wouldn't have learned the truth. The way I'm looking at it now. I don't trust the history books.
Yeah.
So I had no idea how much Alberta contributed to the East. And then, as we learned, that's what Alberta was created to do. That was that quote from Clifford Sifton, right? That the West was just to make it easy for the East.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's every meeting we go to, you learn something new as the history is kind of like the book is opening, right? I'm blown away every time I learn a stat, and they're facts. Now they're not conspiracy theories, right? These are
Right.
facts. So I just, I can't believe how poorly things have been handled, and we've been abused for so long. Yeah. So
That is so interesting what you say about the history. And, for myself, I learned that as a young teenager, in grade 11, I was involved in a program. It was a cooperative program between the province of Quebec and the province of Alberta. And they did student exchanges. And so I actually went and did a semester in northern Quebec, this tiny little community. But I had to take Canadian history. And I was like, what is this? Like, I know my French is not that great, but it's not that bad either. Like,
Right.
am I misunderstanding? And I actually remember one afternoon, my history teacher pulling me aside, and he said, I can see that you are struggling with something. Tell me what's going on. And so I just said, this is not what I learned. And he said, history, there are different sides to every coin, right? Is basically how he said it. You're seeing the other side of the coin. And yeah, since that time, Jill, I mean, what you just described is like, I don't trust it. And that we have to rely on stats and facts and figures, because the interpretation of history is so different. And if people have not been taught the other side of the coin or the whole picture, they're just not going to see it.
No, it's just not available. You have to find somebody. Like, I love listening to Ben Trudeau. He admits he's no relation to the other Trudeau. His knowledge of Quebec history is fascinating, as I've lived in Quebec too for 12 years in Montreal. And so much of that we didn't know, and how that evolved, and how they got to where they are, and they're playing their game very well. They know how to play the game very well. And as he says, you don't ask permission, you just do it. And
yes.
But they do. they do what they want. So, but yeah, I'm just so disgusted that we don't know what has really happened in our history. And it's always the winners who write the history books. So when you start digging, it's sad, really sad. That whoops, there's Helen again. I just think there's so much learning then for us to do, and we're old, so everything we've been told or taught is false for the most part, right? The guts of it. I feel so sad for our kids are getting no education now. They're learning what gender they should be. So don't get started on that one.
So what are the things, like, I mean, obviously our group, the Alberta Women's Independence Network, our focus is on education, and we start with the real basics. You've seen our presentation. It's real basic.
I learned so much just from your presentation and your handouts. Like when you put stuff on paper and then you Oh my God. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's so eye-opening to so many people. So what are some of the resources that you have used? You've mentioned Ben Trudeau. What are some of the places that you go to get that education that we need and that you're looking for?
Again, I go to the APP meetings whenever I can. The Injection of Truth sessions were very good. They
Yes,
have
they were.
huge amount of speakers. Like it's a big event. The and from different areas, right? You're not just talking economics, and so you've got everything. Another one was Sean Newman's corners,
Mm,
and holy cow, he has a full day slate of speakers from literally around the world, and of course they're all awake, and their history, their interpretation of what has gone on, and they're teaching us as what has happened. And yeah, it's not nice, it's not pretty. So we've had our eyes opened big time, big time.
mhm.
And it's difficult for somebody who's been programmed for 78 years, right? So
Right.
you go back and you go, oh, wait a minute. It's kind of like the Catholic Church indoctrination. Now, we won't go there either.
But yeah,
I'm
going
actually,
back into those histories and wow.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I'm actually reading a very fascinating book on that indoctrination you just mentioned and how it came about and how and there's nothing new under the sun, literally. I mean, that statement alone is scriptural and it's completely true. And in all of these situations and that are political in nature, there's always this tug of war, right, between the ones at the top who want to maintain the power and the ones at the bottom who they need to stay at the bottom so that that power is maintained.
Yeah.
And Canada has been really um, quite the experiment as far as the Westminster system goes, because I think if you look at the entire Commonwealth, we might be the only country within the Commonwealth that is really having a massive problem with unity, with how we operate, with our political structure. Like none of the others are like they all have their issues, but it's not the same as here. And I,
Well,
and I don't. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
Canada's so huge. And so you have East Coast mentality to West Coast, and they're
Yeah.
like night and day. So they're
Yes.
difficult to have unity in this country that's so large. And you've got people from literally all over the world have ended up here, right? My
Yeah.
mom came from Ireland, so I don't call her an immigrant though.
She is.
We're not going there either.
But on the same, like you're right. There's this disconnect between East and West because we are so different. Just in how we think, how we talk, our mannerisms, our value systems are different, all of that. But it also is a big challenge because we are such a big country and we've got Ottawa that loves to take on the central planning component,
Mhm.
which
Micro.
doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So what do you see? You've gone to all of these meetings. You say to keep going because I'm glad you said that. I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I've already been to 10 APP meetings. I'm not going to anymore." But there's always something to learn, I think. And so I
Well,
appreciate that you said that.
yeah, totally. And no matter who is speaking, and we always have some great speakers with could be their individual knowledge. Like we had Dennis Kalma a couple of weeks ago in
Mhm.
and so things are evolving with the politics side of it. So then he can add the current thoughts on things,
Mhm.
which it kind of puts people at ease or more comfortable when they hear how that can be managed. Like all the questions about, oh, we can't separate because of, we're landlocked. So then somebody explains it all very clearly, and then, oh, you go, yeah, okay, that's, so when you get these people who know what they're talking about and explaining it to us very simply, it just makes people, I think, a lot more comfortable, and that they want to get on board too. So, no, definitely, regardless of how many meetings we've been to, there's always something. And the best part is that you see people and you have lots of hugs and stuff. So it's like social hour again.
That is actually really key. And I think what I always appreciate is when I see, people who have already been to some of our meetings come to another meeting, is that they are now there and they are supporting the people, the new people. This is their first time coming in, and they are seeing, oh, wait a second, I'm not alone in my concerns. I'm not alone in my desire for freedom and to get out from underneath Ottawa. And oh my goodness, there's like so many people. So it's not just the coming to learn, which is important, but it's also the coming to support each other, which is what you described with the social and you're right. Every time you go to a meeting, it feels a little bit of a reunion, like so good to see you again type of thing.
Yeah. No, it's, and you have the support, you're not alone anymore. So you can speak freely too, because nobody in that room is going to shit on you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And that attitude right there seems to be making a difference. There's a gentleman that I met here up in Edmonton, and he went to an APP meeting at the invitation of somebody else, and he went a bit reluctantly. He didn't want to go, and he ended up leaving a complete convert. And this guy was like way over here, and then left going, oh boy, have I got some, he's not way over here like some of us, but he was really, his eyes were opened, and now we've chatted. Then he was introduced to me, and he and I have chatted quite a few times. And I'd like to see that kind of thing happen more, right? Where people come and they go, oh my gosh, like these are just regular people.
Yeah, we've had good turnouts in Turner Valley, because you've got younger people who are home from work now, 7:00, and they can sneak away. They're close to home. They don't have to drive 2 hours or even an hour.
Yeah.
They can come out and hear the presentation. And we have older people who are quite, they have great questions, but the big challenge is, how do we reach those older people who don't have internet or don't know, have access to a computer to connect, because there's no newspapers anymore other than druthers. But so I think they're going to drop a bunch of druthers off at the old folks' home. Just
nice.
Yeah, and even have a little presentation at the lodge, just to help people understand. I think that's a great idea.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So what do you see as some challenges, Jill? Like you're pretty knowledgeable in all this stuff. So we've got a referendum coming up next year. What do you recognize as the challenges that we need to be ready for?
There's going to be what do you call it? Blowback, but like there's going to be stuff hitting the fan, and I'm not good with that. So I think we're going to have to be really tough and realize that most of it will be contrived, fake, scaring us again, the scare tactics, the threats, if that we're so stupid and blah, blah, blah. So that's difficult for me to handle in person without saying things I shouldn't.
Guilty as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to hit people the hardest, that they're afraid of offending their friends, their neighbors, because people will be calling you, a separatist, which we don't like that word, but that's the name of the game. That's, I don't mind being called a separatist now. Of course, when I lived in Quebec, I wasn't a separatist, which is funny, but if
Yeah.
I had learned the history there better at the time, I might have changed my mind. But
Interesting.
yeah.
What you say though about the name calling and whatnot that we've seen all along, but my gosh, it has ramped up, and
Yeah.
this is nothing yet. You're exactly right. We've got to have a really thick skin, recognize where it's coming from, that it's really not worth our energy at all. And at the same time, though, when it first happens to people, especially in person, like online is one thing, but in person, it kind of takes you back. And I had that happen. A friend of mine decided to drag me to an NDP event. Oh my gosh. Like, I needed therapy for weeks after. But I was like, it was bad. It was just so bad. And I was absolutely shocked. I don't know what else to say at how easily the people around me could just trash talk. Like, there's just no other word. Just trash talk people that they didn't know, or ideas that they didn't agree with. And this one guy in particular, like, I asked him a very sincere question about his stance on something, and his reply back to me was so vile that I'm not generally at a shortage for words, but I just remember looking at him going, I can't believe you just said that. Like, I cannot believe you were that rude to my face. Like, we're not even on X where you can hide behind your little keyboard. You're right here sitting beside me. And that's going to start even more. And I think we just need to realize and understand that where these people are coming from. It's not a place of knowledge. It's certainly not a place of kindness or acknowledgement of anybody else's thoughts. And to just get ready and kind of respond accordingly, which might mean don't respond at all.
Yes, I think that's the best reply we could have, because it doesn't give them more ammunition. And that I need to be quiet because of what I might say, which is really tough. But and I take everything personally. So I have trouble with that, definitely.
Well, it's hard not to, especially like Kathy, like you're saying, like they're right there in front of you.
Yeah.
I think, yes, we have to be very discerning as to when and how we are going to respond. If it's something really easy where it's like, let's say Alberta pension plan, right? And they're going off about that. It's very easy to just put one of the very many infographics that have been produced about that, to just share that.
Yeah.
It's like, not true. There you go. Right. Like, I'm not going to engage in the rhetoric. I'm not going to engage in the vitriol type of thing. But yeah, I think in most cases, especially when it comes down to the name calling and the straight up hate. Kathy, I had a similar experience this summer. So I live right outside of Waterton Lakes National Park, and I actually volunteer out there. And we had a thing where we had to have several volunteers all together in one place. We were working on this one thing. And there's this one woman, I'd never met her before. And within 5 minutes, I knew how much she hated, and she used the word hated, Danielle Smith and these Alberta Conservatives, even though she was from Ontario originally, but had been living here for 30 years. And within 5 minutes, I knew that. I'd never met this woman before. But within 5 minutes, she was spewing hatred for my fellow Albertans and for the values that we have. And I just thought, I would never think to do that. I would just, and again, I was at a loss of words too. Afterwards, I thought I should have told her, you really need to just go back to Ontario. You'll feel a lot more comfortable there.
Right.
I want you to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go back to Ontario, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, how do you know someone's a vegetarian? Because they'll tell you. So within 3 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
It's the same with the dippers, I call them.
Yeah. And I guess that's what we're up against. And I think we need to understand that as well. Right. Whereas I was like, I would never do that. I would never think to do that. No. I need to understand, and we need to understand that they have a different, and I always hate to other people and I hate the division, but the fact of the matter is there are people who do not have those same social values in being polite to somebody when you first meet them and kind of holding back a bit type of thing. And we need to understand that's what we're up against. Mm-hmm. So one, expect it. And two, know how you're going to decide ahead of time how you're going to respond to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the one good line that I've used a few times on the independence thing is, what in God's name do you think we would benefit by staying in Canada? What is, and so people really don't have an answer for that. If they're educated, I guess, on all of the facts, because a lot of people aren't. They haven't got a clue. Mm-hmm. I went back to Ontario last month, and people are saying, how come Danielle wants to separate? Blah, 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 blah. And I thought, what?
She doesn't.
She's against it. And they said, oh, that's not what we heard. She's all for it. She's pushing this. And I got it from my neighbor the other night. He's used the word she wants to do this. And I said, who is she? And he says, Danielle Smith. I said, no, like, where are you people getting your information from? But they watch TV. And that's the biggest, I think, the biggest problem. If we could pull all the plugs, I think it would be a different story, because, and that's another thing I learned from Tanya Clemens at an APP meeting, was the 2019 Trudeau changed the media reporting, or however it was worded, that they no longer had to tell the truth.
Right.
And you go, are you kidding me? So, and it's been obviously controlled for a long time, but now they can say anything they want and there's no repercussions, right?
And there's a reason why he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the timing was quite something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Coincidental, though.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's always fascinating to me that the battle is a facts-based one as much as an emotional-based one. And people don't know what they don't know. And I was thinking about that earlier this morning, that it's easy for us who live and eat and breathe this all day, every day. We're always going down the information rabbit trails to find out the next thing we want to talk about or write about or whatever. It's easy for us to go like, how do you have like the IQ of a warm day or something? Like, you can't see this? But if people have never been shown, then no, they can't.
Yeah. A lot of people aren't open to learning either. They're, if they're hardcore NDPers.
Yeah.
Just if I say the snow is white, it's not white to them, like no matter what. And there are a lot of people like that. And you go, really? Can you not just see this? So
they can't. And I was even chatting with someone over Christmas, and we got talking a bit about politics and whatever else not. And it's like, I don't even bring it up. Other people do.
No.
But anyway, they brought it up, and we were talking about immigration, and the person thought that you still had to sponsor family members
Mm.
in order to come here. And I said, no, man, our immigration officers are bellhops. Like, they carry your bag across.
But
There's none of, right? That's all gone. And they just didn't know, because they just presumed that's how it was. So that's how it is. Like, no.
yeah. And there's an app that they can use to immigrate on, which I learned when I was back in Ontario.
Yeah.
And they just have to answer a few questions on the app, and they're through.
Yep.
With
Crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay. So in the new country, you will have to be sponsored if you want to come and live here in the new country. And also in the new country, just because you are Canadian now does not mean you get to just grandfather your way in if you live in another province. BTW. That drives me bananas, right? Oh, well, I'm a Canadian too. Yeah, but you ain't an Albertan, so ciao. Yeah, like there's just... But see, these are the conversations that get me fired up and excited, because we have an opportunity to change all of that and to make it right, and to do things properly the way that they should be done, not the way they are being done.
And not use the Westminster system.
Yes.
Please. Well, and this is the thing, right? This is what kind of kills me, where sometimes people will say, oh, well, we'll keep doing it this way. It's like, then why are we leaving?
Yeah.
Like, no. We are leaving because all of these things are messed up. And there needs to be, this kind of a reckoning. We need to kind of right the ship, because that one's going down. So why would we continue doing what has been done that just clearly is not working? And, that goes for all kinds of different aspects of society and that type of thing, where it's like, no, this is so exciting because we have the opportunity to really make a change.
Yeah.
And to look at all the different systems around the world, what's working, what's not working, why is that not working? Could it work if it was tweaked this way? And then we get to incorporate that into our new country and start fresh, which I think is just so exciting. When I listen to Bruce Pardy talk about like the opportunity that we as Albertans have, so amazing, so exciting. So 2026, I am so excited and geared up for this, because it's just another step forward to creating this beautiful, beautiful reality that we can have.
Yeah.
And a great challenge. We all need to be challenged. So
yes,
my challenge for this year is I'm learning to sew.
Good for you.
Nice.
But that comes after independence stuff. So I'm just about to push out a bunch of links to the upcoming meetings, and your toast is ready. Just to get things going. Like, we need to keep this train on the tracks and keep the momentum going now.
Yeah. And so, Jill, you have a newsletter, right, that you send out to folks?
I don't call it a newsletter. I just keep people aware of upcoming events, or, links to things, as I find that time consuming enough that I don't do the talk. I don't want to get into the talk. So it's just informative bullet points. I just want people to know what's happening, and it was easy to use that. I have probably 300 to 400 people on my email list.
Wonderful.
At the moment. And for the election. So the election was extremely positive in our area. To let people know what's happening, and to push it out to people who are awake or at least wanting to learn. Yes, we were very successful.
Yeah. You guys saw some really good changes.
So you can see how it can be done just by the, coming together, and your everyday people can make a change. So that's quite encouraging.
I
Very
like
good.
what you just said there. Everyday people can make a change.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. That's a
Yeah.
perfect spot to end this conversation.
I
Everyday
think so.
people, hey? Everyday people. You don't have to have an alphabet soup behind your name or whatever the case. Just,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jill, you're outstanding. Thank you so much for
Well,
just being you and giving us the opportunity to chat with you and get to know you a little bit more and a little better. And now I think you should just give us another reason or an excuse to come visit you because we'd love to.
you don't need an excuse. You just come.
Okay.
Yep.
Yay.
We
Awesome.
will
All
do
right.
it.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
All right. And
Right
I'll put out your link too in the next, email so
Thank
that
you.
anybody wants to host, they can. And
Oh, we would love that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
yeah. Or we could do it
Awesome.
here. Like gather the troops.
We
You
will do
bet.
that as well. We will do that as well. We are starting to, I spent most of yesterday reaching out to folks to kind of get meetings up and going in the new year here. So we will definitely be reaching out to you as well.
Okay, perfect.
Right
All
on.
right.
Thank you so much, Jill.
Thank you, ladies.
She's amazing.
All right.
Oh
She
my
is
gosh.
so, I just love her. I just
I know.
love her.
I know. She seems to be like she's just this I don't know, another sort of a mom figure, like it's okay, we're gonna get through this kind of thing, right?
Mhm.
Love
Yeah.
it.
I mean, Jill is spicy. Jill is a firecracker.
That's
She
an understatement.
can, like, she's got energy like nothing else, which is
Yeah.
just amazing to watch her go. But she also has that gift of being able to gather people and, like
Yeah.
she said, like keeping people informed and that type of thing. And I think, every time we do one of these interviews, Kathy, and we see the different strengths that each of these women have and that each of these women bring to the movement, that is the key. And it's not that any one of them is an absolute superstar and like super well known and all this stuff, but they are well known within their own circles because they have recognized their own strength and the contribution that they can make, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go out and they do it. They just do it.
Exactly. And that's all it is. That's all it is. You don't need a big, a huge following. You don't need 10,000 people on Twitter following you or Facebook or whatever. Just get your community together.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. Have a conversation. Let's chat. Yeah.
Love
That's
it.
great. Cool.
Awesome. Well, so good talking to you again, Kathy.
And you?
We have some fun stuff coming up in this new year. So,
Yeah,
if folks want to get onto our newsletter where we put out all the dates and locations of the different meetings around the province that we're having, they can very easily do that by emailing us here at abwomensindependencenetwork@gmail.com. Just let us know that you want to get onto our newsletter. Newsletters come out. We aim for every Monday. And we always have, again, information about meetings that we're doing, but also information on where to find more information. So like oftentimes we will link things like the Sean Newman podcast that Jill mentioned, Corey Morgan, Keith Wilson,
Bruce
different
Party
articles.
is another one. Yeah.
Bruce Party, different books, different articles that are coming out. We will link in our newsletter so that people can
Avail themselves of it.
to find out for themselves and share it with their friends, right?
100%.
So awesome, Kathy.
Until next time.
Yes. Take care.
Take care.